they feel like they've done wrong. I mean, you got to think about. We all think about like because we just start kind of seeing Joy Taylor more on TV and not on a podcast and on the radio. But this has been a thing that's been going on for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So, people like she been taking notes of and she describes these events, dates and times on,
Yeah.
July July 11th, 2017, she goes into details about this instance. This is what happened. This is when they invited me to a party.
Yeah.
Going through like, hey, this what caused her divorce and stuff like that. People better be careful at work, even with Skip. Like,
Yeah.
those hugs you be giving people,
Yeah.
10 years from now, that could have been an unwanted sexual advance. You know what I mean? Every time Tony he just gave me a hug and it just lingered just a little too long. You know what I mean? But
And then on the flip side of the coin, if you just did fist bumps and didn't do that, they'll be saying you weird. You're like a robot. You know what I'm saying? So
you
it's
know,
like, what do you do in this kind of world we live in now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. So when you think about it, it says the first section. It says Miss Faraji brings forth this action because over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure misogynistic, racist, ableist workplace, I guess, where the executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. What I say is too, man. A lot of this stuff she's saying, you don't know it's true as allegations, but if anybody working in the regular workplace, some of this stuff she's saying, you it's familiar. Like stuff people say, they just don't say it because who has the money to file a lawsuit? It costs money. I'm sure the lawyer took this on contingency. She didn't pay him for this because it's a big. They suing FS1,
yeah.
so he probably feel like he gonna get millions out of it.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind that a lawyer wrote this, not the defendant, but a lawyer wrote this. So they gonna make it sound like a movie, man.
Yeah, really, if you read it, it's real easy to follow. They give specific dates and times, how that person's actions made her feel.
So it said, second section, she brings forth an action on behalf of herself and Fox's current and former non-exempt hourly employees employed in California, beginning 4 years prior to the filing of this complaint and ending on the date as determined by the court, the class period. Specifically, during the class period, Fox had a consistent policy or practice of failing to pay employees all minimum wages, failing to pay employees all overtime wages, failing to reimburse employees for business expenses, failing to pay all wages upon separation, and knowingly and intentionally failing to furnish accurate itemized wage statements. As a result of the above labor code violations, it sounds like she's trying to get other people involved on this lawsuit to make it bigger, kind of like a snowball effect.
Yeah, so I read through it. She made mention of other employees being fired, like for no reason or declining sexual advances from employees. So she's getting everybody who's been fired for whatever reason. Some people aren't named; they're named anonymous, or the girl I used to work with, she got fired for this. When they try to get as many people in, and it's not just focused on the sexual harassment or the advances or the inappropriate relationships with bosses, whatever you call those.
Yeah,
it's not being paid fairly. You know what I mean? They didn't give her money with her severance. You know what I mean? And then everybody who's been affected by that, not getting paid by their full contract, not being paid for. Y'all can pay Skip, but you can't pay this hairdresser. You can't pay this makeup artist. You know what I mean? So when you're on the bottom of the total pole, it really does roll downhill.
I think too, a lot of times, looking at it from the other side of the coin, like a person that goes to work every day that's not making millions like Skip Newman was, you really just trying to survive and keep your job. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I've known this working at some companies in IT in my past. people that sue or they get a settlement or they win, you can almost put yourself in a box to get blackballed by other companies. Cause you don't know who, you don't know who talk, you really don't. But you want the quick money right here, but you don't realize long term it could hurt you. You know what I'm saying? With the overtime, I don't know what their contract was. You got to read their contract, your employment contract. I know it's a lot. They put a lot of words and stuff. You got to read it, man. Sometimes it can be your salary. A lot of times when you work salary, they don't pay you for overtime. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to negotiate. You know what I'm
Don't at
saying?
all.
Huh?
Yeah.
Don't
And,
at all.
and she was
Yeah.
like, they told her they were going to reimburse her for using her own tools and her kit. It's like a kit fee, but then she
Yeah.
never got that. And like when you're in a business and somebody says they'll get around to it, oh yeah, we'll take care of
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh
On
yeah.
the back end, or oh yeah, we got that. And you know, you asked them 3 times about this check that you're supposed to get, and you're still using your own tools. How many times do you think they're gonna ask you to do your job? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You gotta beg them for the money that you're owed.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign on the business.
Yeah, and it says defendant Charlie Dixon is the executive vice president of Content F1. Dude, she man, they laid it out for this dude, man. This dude, I'm surprised dude still got a job, man. For
But
Fox's flagship multi-sport national
hey, but you
network.
know, it seems like they be doing favors because in the thing he said Skip signed off on Joy. He didn't really want to, but he did it.
We ain't
Hey,
got there yet. You moving ahead, man. We gonna get there, man. Are you
but I
good?
mean, I'm just talking about the
Yeah,
favor system. You know what I mean? That's why sometimes people still have the job after the fact because hey, somebody higher up owes
yeah,
them one, so you're gonna keep your job as long as possible.
yeah.
If it ain't hurting the company.
Yeah, before I moved there, they talking about Skip. It says that the president before him, Jamie Horowitz or something, who was terminated from Fox due to reports of sexual harassment. What I want to say is, especially to the fellas out there, we live in a time now, like Jay said, you got to be careful, man. Like sometimes you can't. It ain't even about whether you did it or not. It's just the allegation will get you fired. You know what I'm saying? You might not even have a chance to prove it. Just because a person says you did it, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? They're not even gonna take a chance. I've seen it happen many times.
Yeah.
Whether you even sometimes you can say that you didn't do it, they still just because of the allegation, man. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? It's just how the game go.
And
You
then
know?
one thing, and that goes for anything that can be
Yeah.
misinterpreted, like those church hugs, hugging folks at work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all fine and dandy. Oh, he smelled good. They touching on you and stuff like that. But then, 5 years later, yeah, he was kind of touching with those hugs, and that didn't make me feel comfortable. But
Yeah.
you was only hugging him by his desk. So you went to this man's desk, gave him a hug. Now 5 years later, you felt uncomfortable, giving him hugs.
And,
Don't
and
come to
then she made a key point when we gonna get to it or something that what's her name? Joy said that's pretty crazy. Like a lot of times when dudes say this, people think you being mean or you saying you're not being sensitive to the victim, but she said a statement that, a lot of dudes be saying, but people be like, nah, that ain't nah, you gotta believe the women, you know what I'm saying? So it's kinda tough, man.
I always believe the women, myself.
Even when you read that, you still would have believed it?
Well, which part you talking about did you read?
She said if something was to happen, she'll say that he forced himself on her.
Oh
She'll
yeah,
do the Me Too. Yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
And it says Skip Bayless is a sports columnist, commentator. Man, what? I got to get to the other stuff. Hold on. Oh wow, she put his money out there and everything. Said he signed a 4-year, $32 million contract with Fox. At all relevant time, Mr. Bayless was an agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Mrs. Faraji employment. Tell you, man, them lawyers know how to write it up. Upon information and belief, Mr. Bayless is a resident of the state of California. I don't know. Joy Taylor, this is pretty crazy. Joy Taylor is a media personality from television, host for Fox.
And that's just defining who
Yeah.
who they are and their affiliation and why they're being named in this lawsuit. Like, well, like what did he have to do with it? Well, he had a power decision making, and he had the money to do so.
Right.
I think Joy was more so like, how you think she got up there that fast? Like, that's what I think. Make sweet it up.
But yeah, they made her seem made her seem really cold and not related to the woman. The woman said, "Hey, I got this problem," you know what I mean? And kind of Joy attitude on this document is like, "Well, that's how the game go. Like, what you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, why are you complaining? You know what I mean? You better get you some."
Yeah, Molly over there biting her nails right now. Like, dang, man, hold down he up in this.
What?
Boy.
But then it's a culture of the environment. When the person that you're replacing got fired or resigned for sexual harassment allegations, and then you come back and a couple years later you're getting sued for the same thing, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Because I can't really be just kind of forcing my, on somebody every day.
So, before we get into the section B, where she's talking about Joy Taylor, is this isolated or does this kind of stuff happens? Y'all think generally this kind of stuff happens all the time? People just don't talk about it out loud.
I was thinking it happens a lot. Like when I first started, my first little statement on this is like just around my workplace when people really not making money, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody still making in the tens of thousands, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got a couple six-figure people, but we're just kind of low level, you know what I mean? All of that stuff can look different when you're looking back at it 10 years later. She used to be like the office pass around, but guess what? Now she saved and she married, and her husband worked there, you know what I mean? And they don't like you talking about or the rumors spreading. It just looks different when it's low budget, when it's not millionaires and it's not CEOs. Your situation may look different, but it's the same game, or
it's just more at stake when you got money. It's a little bit more at stake. You definitely a target. You got to be smart.
Profile. You know what I mean? So
sometimes too, like you said with the office stuff, we seen this too, man. That, you feel like you got the juice and you got the what you call it, the come and go cup. You got the big old come and go cup, and it's full of ice and juice. But so many people drink out of it, you done got bust down all the way down to the bottom. Ain't nothing, don't nobody fool with you no more. Now you get mad and bitter. You want to sue people now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you was playing the game, though, it was cool. And everybody drink out the cup. It was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen women or men like, when they come in there, everybody wants you, but they guess what? You know what I mean? A couple years, everybody has you. You know what I mean?
Boy.
You don't like, and it's like high school. You know what I mean? Whether you're not popular, people just be professional at work, and this wouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
I think, man, some people like when humans involved, when you mix men and women, man, it sounds good. Just say it's 100% professional, man. And then when you do it, people think you robots. It's like, what's wrong? Why he don't never speak to nobody? Why he don't? You know what I'm saying? It's like a double-edged sword. You dang if you do, dang if you don't. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I mean, like even when they say, talk about Shannon Sharp in here or the other people, he was just nice, respectful, at all times. It makes you seem like you're a weirdo because you're not being weird. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this. Shannon seemed like the dude. You know how you see dudes on Facebook, they be around a bunch of girls. Like, wait a minute, he around a bunch of girls. Like, he the only dude. He just look kind of suspect. I don't know, man.
He didn't knock down a few, but
no, he ain't knocked down a few. I want to say, I ain't gonna say that word. But
no, man,
he's the friend. He's the friend. I just say that.
No, I mean, look, man, bro. Look. I mean, I played a lot of roles. I mean, I wore a lot of camouflage to get the targets desired. But you can't. I would rather be accused of being in the community than have sexual harassment charges. If that's my choice, everybody thinks I'm one type of way, but I ain't got no charges.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I'll take it every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at least you ain't not in no Diddy situations. You know what I mean? So it can go either way with that. I would rather keep my money in my social life. You know, kind of like when your social life is your money when you're a celebrity. So when you're
Yeah.
at a party, that's your money. That's just like a
Mm-hmm.
networking event. That's your money. That's your
Yeah.
job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then my
100%.
private sexual life will be something different because when you start mixing, because your coworkers are pretty and y'all celebrities, and it looks like a party because we have alcohol, we're working. And that can get you in a situation where your name is on a lawsuit trying to be a player and trying to prove that you're not in the rainbow community to some people who don't know you. You
That's
know what
true.
I mean? So yeah, I take being accused. You can accuse me of that before you accuse me for sexual assault or sexual harassment. But that's
Yeah.
just my opinion on that.
For
I
sure.
think I think they was already kind of they kind of knew anyway, and now it just came to the light even more.
Man, it's
No, they
crazy,
had to
man.
build the
Go ahead.
case. I mean, you are exactly right, Peel. But they had to build the case. They had to make it look
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying. Like, think about this. How long she had to hold on to all this for? Like, how much did you write this down? How did you hold on to this and remember the details?
oh, she started recording stuff. At one point,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
and this was like an investment. You know what I mean? She put the crock pot on simmer. You know what I mean?
So what do you mean by investment? What do you mean by investment? See, that's the crazy part too, right? You say this was an investment.
It was an investment. You gotta, gather up this evidence until you got a strong
Yeah.
case. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even with the president that was in office, that one lady who saved the dress with the fluid on the dress.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
like you test the DNA when the man gets more powerful. You got a 15-year-old stain
Man.
on a dress.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Most people don't even want spaghetti sauce on their pants too long or their dress too long, let alone.
Yeah. So I mean, but guess what, man? Sometimes like they say, evil never dies. So no crime goes unpunished. So you can do something, steal something, touch somebody inappropriately. You know what I mean? You might think you got away with it.
Yeah.
You know, coming into work, being predictable
Yeah.
with your harassment. Like every time I come in here, he gonna touch my butt. He gonna say something inappropriate. Blah blah blah. She just gotta just set the little camera up, get you doing it twice, and you're a millionaire. But continue.
That's why.
Oh man. So go ahead,
That's
Pierre. What you about to say before I read this?
Go back to the old school law, old school teaching. Quit trying to doodle where you eat it. That's it.
Boy,
I'm trying to doodle where you eat it, man. Come on now.
Yeah, and I tell you one, working at the ISP place, dude said, don't get your bread and your meat in the same place, man.
boy.
It said number 20. He said in approximately May 2016. That's allowed. It said Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production. Ms. Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Ms. Faraji asked who he was. Ms. Taylor responded he was just a friend. Following that night, whenever Ms. Faraji would meet with Mrs. Taylor for drinks and food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Mrs. Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Ms. Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks and or food. From their body language, Ms. Faraji suspected that the pair was sleeping with each other. And although this concerned Ms. Faraji, as she knew Mrs. Taylor was recently married, Ms. Faraji kept her opinions to herself. You see how it's almost like she's trying to make herself like she's just totally innocent. I don't know. Sometimes people do that.
No, she's this is a court document.
Yeah, for sure.
She put
Because she took the drink. She was drinking too, right?
no, she's referencing somebody's body language as
Yes.
evidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the lawsuit.
That's
like,
crazy.
You know what? And then, like,
So was they playing footsie or something under the table? Like, how do you know they playing footsie or something under the table?
That was some good body language that you saw
Boy.
that let her know, you know what? They having sex. I can tell. You know what I mean? They a little too familiar. You know what I mean? That's my expert opinion. So
Is it? Can you tell though? Is there a way you could tell or not really?
she said she could. You know what I mean?
No, I'm saying for us on the general level. For us on the general level, can you tell?
According to her, she could, but
Yeah.
you know, some people just touchy feeling.
Yeah.
But you know what that was like. Why is 3 people going out? So I guess Joy was using her for cover. I'm going out with my hairstylist. You know what I mean? And you really.
Or they was trying to test her. He was trying to test her. No, ain't no telling, man.
Oh, there's 2 things. He trying to get both of them, or
Yeah.
Joy would be telling her husband, fiance, like, "Hey, I'm just going out with my friend."
Cause you know Joy Taylor, she was on Fox. She tried to paint her husband as being abusive and stuff. I don't know, maybe it was, but she didn't say this though. She didn't say nothing about that though, about this situation though.
That's probably why he was abused. Man, what you know? Oh man, my wife out here doing all this.
Well, what do about 60 or something? And it's like, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm out with my homegirl, but my homeboy, he said he saw you with 60-year-old man. What's going on? He not there every time. So every time they hung out, she was using the hairdresser for cover.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep. And she said, while at work, June 6, 2016, Mr. Faraji, man, it's a long time ago. It's 2025, bro. Unreal.
And she's moment by moment each day.
Yeah.
Spicy margarita. She remember she went. It was one day. The next day, I went into the elevator and I saw the old man from dinner. And then I went up to Joy and said, "Joy, guess who I saw? I saw the guy." And she was like, and then Joy was like, "Hey, shh, shh, shh. I didn't know he worked there. Shh, shh, shh. We'll talk about that later." You know what I mean? No, that's cocktail hour. So she found out that Mr. Dixon actually did work at there, and he was the vice president. And Joy told her to keep that on the low, which should have struck her as weird at that time. And then Joy was then what happened? Then she was put up for the job.
Yeah, she was put up for the job that she believed she was put up for the job because she was boy.
So he put her up for the job. Then Skip was like, nah, I don't want her. You know what I mean? But you got to realize she was a radio host, part-time, and she was a bartender. And now she's going to be on a TV, a show on TV with Skip and Shannon. Like, she's a bartender and a DJ, basically. You know what I mean? And she got a podcast. Like, how is she qualified? Like, Skip been doing this for 30 years, 40 years. Shannon's a Hall of Fame football player, and she's a current bartender, a part-time bartender in radio. So, like, this ain't making sense. And, like, Skip kind of called it, you know what I mean? Then they had one of those little secret dinners, and they broke it down to Skip, like, hey, we really need her in there, you know what I mean? And Skip agreed as a favor to Mr. Dixon. According to the lawsuit, he had agreed as a favor to Mr. Dixon that she could work there and do the show. He signed off on it as well. And then from there, that's when Skip started getting weird.
That's how we know. Shannon dipped out her. He was like, "No, I call weed. Skip, I gotta go. I'm sorry."
Let's Skip. Get up out of here, Skip. So, this is one of the lines I'm saying before we try to get off this thing, man. Been on for a minute. It says she explained that she was also not powerful once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her. she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. And she would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talents.
So he been
That was her parachute. She was a, you
Yeah.
know, if you
So,
get, if you get
reading these allegations, right? This is what these are allegations. Do you think there's other people that use the same kind of tactic though?
yeah, I mean, I think that's the corporate way. You know what I mean?
But but people say you got to believe women though.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Okay, so but the women also use this to their advantage. If you're going to be harassed, you might as well kind of capitalize on it, use it to your.
But what if it's consensual? Is it harassment if it's consensual?
No, if you agree to you break, like somebody offers you money, like okay, in this thing, Skip allegedly every time he got his
I got to find that too. Yeah, this is the different one. Yeah, this is going.
Haircut. It was a touch. It was a lingering hug. It was an offer. You know what I mean?
He said I could change your life.
He said stuff like I can change your life. So if you're gonna get harassed anyway, why not get your life changed? You're getting harassed for free every day. I'm not saying only person I'm saying is right is wrong is harassment. These women are victims in a lot of this. She said she possibly had cancer on one of her ovaries. Yeah. She thought that was gonna make him kind of calm down a little bit. Allegedly, this is what the lawsuit made him calm down a little bit, and then that's when he kissed her hands.
She don't watch National Geographic, do she? Because what do the lions go after? What do the lions go after first? They never go after the strong animals. They always go after the weak ones first.
The wounded animals. So he said he kissed her hands. He offered her 1.5.
Man, woo!
If you remember the day, you know what I mean?
1.5.
Could you imagine every day, once a week, you know what I mean? Somebody's telling you they're gonna change.
Allegedly, Skip saying, "Hey, I could change your life."
You know?
Then he got mad. I'm mad. You're talking to Skip. You're sleeping with Shannon. You know how he be going on them temper tantrums.
You are. That's why you don't want. That's why you don't want to take my offer. It's Shannon. He's big. He's got the muscles and he's black.
Yeah.
And
man.
Saying does he? You're Muslim because
Now here's another theory, right? Here's another theory. This happened. We've seen this happen in most jobs and even in life. Not saying it's just a theory. Not saying it's true or not true. You hear through the grapevine that somebody. You hearing the stories. You hearing the Too Short cocktails and stuff. And then you go try to get an apple off the tree, but it ain't no apples there. Everybody else getting apples, but when you get there, ain't no apples. You know what I'm saying? That happens too.
That happens a lot. You know what I mean? They sold out.
Man, everybody else put a cord in the slot machine and pulled the handle. Why I can't do it?
Those are those white only ties, like on the white. You know what I mean?
Oh man, let me get out this man. It's so funny.
And as a man, you gotta try to. It's so like when you're rich and you're handsome, you don't get rejected a lot. So they don't really kind of know how to take that. But you gotta if the freest of the free food say, "Hey, we're not serving you. You're not getting served."
Then he's so competitive too, man. That's what they say. He's so competitive, man. That's another thing too. So you telling me you gonna let Skip?
I've heard stories about Subway or the train is really heading out. Everybody on the train, but then they don't let you in. Hey, but everybody else roll. No. You want to get your charge trying to get on.
All things for these are allegations. We all know that, but I'm willing to bet that Skip, if it's some other stuff she's not saying, because he's so competitive, he will put it all out in court without question.
Yeah.
He's like, if you want to play these games, let's play.
He will.
I don't know if this is a dude you want to play with in a legal battle. Because dude could just spill. He'll just do it just because. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already out there. You already got my name out there, so let's play. Let's go ahead and get dirty. You know what I'm saying?
And she was did it for him.
And he's stuff that can put all his money in his wife's name, get a divorce.
Boy.
And then you be trying to sue him, he only got $7.
Man.
And that's what's gonna be the turning factor. I mean, you don't try to embarrass me. You know, I've been married for some years, but I don't know, man.
Man, dude gonna be like training day. You think you can do this to me? Shoot program. 24 hours.
Hey, we saw when Skip changed, man. Skip, once Skip had put on that black turtleneck with the gold chain, go back.
Drip Bayless.
Go back to when he started doing that.
He got mad at Skip Shannon too, because they had put the clip on YouTube. He talking about Jenny. He like insinuating on the TV show that he was talking to Jenny. I think that's why she left too. She got tired of dealing with Skip. He wouldn't even fist bump her, man. He's like, no. That's funny. But all right, guys, going into the pick one.